What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down on what's really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid's down 6.6%, 1239 the low, 1306 the high, and okay volume. So 6.6 million shares being traded, 9.7 is the average. Of that though, most is coming from algorithmic trading. You do see a handful of buys right here. So these are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market. So it does signal that big money's actually buying the dip. Anything with a ask is a buy. So that's good to see, but still it goes to show how powerful algorithmic trading truly is. And this is something I've constantly been saying, especially in Lucid's case for the last pretty much month and a half. But there's quite a few things really affecting the broader market. One, I'll start off with the more specific to Lucid. We did get a negative rating, a downgrade from Morgan Stanley. And I'm going to kind of talk on one thing as well in a second that'll make this kind of a little bit more awkward. But there was a sell rating, Morgan Stanley, Andrew, who has a 58% success rating. Quickly popping over here, you can kind of see that their previous rating was $30. I think that was just more of a technicality. I don't believe that they actually did give a $30 price target, because at the time they had a $3 price target, and then with the whole reverse stock split, they just, I think, automatically made it 30. I don't truly believe that they kind of felt 30 was on the table, but nonetheless, this is a pretty significant drop. So from 30 down to 10, and this is kind of the analysis right here. So hats off to this individual who kind of posted it, but it goes to show dilution risk. And this is something I've stated time and time again, even though a lot of people don't like when I bring that up about dilution and how they recently did a note that is going to result in dilution, significant dilution, mind you. So I think that until they actually do hit profitability, which right now analysts feel, I think it's like 2032 is on the table, from now until then, they are going to constantly need dilution. Just because the mid-size comes down and is kind of so far on schedule doesn't mean that they will all of a sudden not need money. So I think in general, this isn't the greatest. And like I said, it's kind of awkward only because Lucid did put out news this morning, and that was this right here. So Lucid interim CEO to speak at 53rd annual Nasdaq investor conference held in association with Morgan Stanley. So a little bit more of an awkward type of thing. Last time as well, you did have Adam Jonas. So this time around, I think they switched up Analyst. So it's no longer Adam Jonas, but most likely I think Adam Jonas will be the one kind of doing this. And he gave Lucid a lot of praise last time he held Lucid or like in a fireside chat. So hopefully this is good. This is going to be coming up on Wednesday, December the 10th at, it looks like, early in the morning. So that is, again, something good, but still, it's not the greatest for, I guess, ratings when it comes down to that. The only other thing that's really affecting the broader market is this. So I think generally everyone and their dog knows that the big meeting is coming up December the 10th, pretty much on that exact same day. And this is where Powell will hopefully give a 25 basis point cut. Currently, there is a 89.9% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut occurring. And then depending on what Powell says afterwards, that could really kind of change the market's perception of January. So regardless, this is what is also causing some volatility today, is because this is the first time, I think almost ever, that we are somewhat uncertain going into this meeting, because every other time we've had a cut, we've known weeks in advance, and the markets believed that we will get a cut, and it was solidly at 100%. So going into a meeting, which is in 2 days, and we still only have a 89.9% likelihood of a 25, shows that the market is believing that it should happen, but they don't really believe it. So this is where a lot of analysts last week was saying, hey, you know what, like, I think you guys are pricing in a 25 basis point cut premature. So that's one of the big things that caused a nice push higher on Thursday. And I think in reality, 𝗪𝗧 is to blame for all that, because he kind of came out and said, hey, you know what, for December, we're probably going to have a cut. So I think it's just a very bad scenario. So for whatever reason, if we do not get a cut on December the 10th, anticipate blood, a lot of blood, and panic as well. So let me know your general thoughts. So a lot of that is kind of affecting the broader market. Again, algorithmic trading is really adding a certain level of suppression to a lot of stocks. And then the negative rating didn't really help whatsoever. Associated to Lucid, at the time of doing this video, shorts are increasing about 216,000 shares. 14.67% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 45.1 million shares overall being shorted. DTC is consistently inching up, so it is now at 4.89 days. So that does signal that shorts are relatively overextended. Looking at the options, 311,000 in calls, 2.9 million in puts, and then 51% of all the options being done are bearish in nature. So not necessarily the best. Bulls are feeling that roughly between that 13 to 1350 is on the table. So optimism has definitely dropped quite a lot for that. Bears are feeling between, it looks like 13 to 1250. So where we pretty much are right now. So it's, again, could go either direction. With us right now at 1252, it is trading between this S1 and this S2. So 1224, which has yet to be hit. That's going to be the next strong support. And ideally for today, you see a nice level of buying and hopefully pushing it like above that 1267. So that's going to be the next strong target slash resistance, followed by 1337. So another interesting day for Lucid. And I think just going back over here for a second, this meeting that is going to be in this fireside chat, like, I think this is just poor timing. And I think just Lucid, I don't know. I wish I'd like to say that like Lucid could actually put out something of substance and say and have a fireside chat on like a good day, but they always choose the most speculative days, the most volatile days. Like, they're going to be doing this fireside chat, and if they have something big to unveil and say something, like, it's going to get largely brushed under the rug if Powell doesn't give a rate cut. So it's just interesting timing as per usual. But nonetheless, getting back over here for a second. So this is kind of the latest ratings. On a side note, if you do want all of this and check out the reports, for instance, you can pop over to Moomoo. I have a lot of different brokers, all for actual like different purposes. And I like Moomoo because it actually does remove the paywall. So you can actually click on and read all the reports, whereas other websites, they kind of make you pay for it. So definitely sign up for Moomoo. I have a link in the description below and also the comments on a side note. But on the actual chart today, the momentum has definitely broken because it is below that 10-day moving average. So a lot of my kind of predictions I mentioned over the weekend on how hypothetically Lucid could really move higher because of algorithmic trading, that's kind of out the window a little bit right now. But stochastic RSI is also very overbought. So the first sign of weakness, you're going to see a level of kind of consolidation. So that's one thing also really affecting Lucid today. Aside from that, looking at today's market position, comparing it to Friday, number of willing buyers just went down like crazy. So it looks like everyone just got up and left and they pieced out. So kind of crazy how fast things turn, how you can be very optimistic and then just all of a sudden, just 2 days, it kills the momentum right quick. Aside from that though, there really hasn't been that much in kind of articles, aside from just the new Analyst, kind of whatever the new rating associated to that. So I think just Lucid really needs to hopefully hit a home run with their upcoming fireside chat and say all the right things. But I definitely do have to give them a round of applause because they haven't really done any fireside chats. They were playing it very safe. So the fact that they're actually doing all these could be some indication that they are confident that they will be hitting their numbers, right? They're 18,000 by the end of the year. So again, if you want to think about it on an optimistic standpoint, then maybe that is a good indication that they hit it. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. I put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.